At 7:29, on a freezing New Zealand morning, the lights are on, heat pumps are working, showers are running, kettles are about to boil. 1 minute later, the country can have plenty of energy for the winter, yet very little spare electricity for that moment. This is the idea behind a power warning. The difficult question is not only how much energy New Zealand has, it is whether enough electricity can be produced and carried to everyone at exactly the same time. In August 2026, cold weather pushed national electricity use to a record. Transpower warned electricity companies about possible tight supply between 7:30 and 8:30 on 2 mornings. The warning did not mean every home would lose power. It told the industry that the safety space between expected supply and expected demand might become too small. To understand that space, imagine an orchestra with no recorded music. Every note must be played live. If the audience asks for a louder sound, the musicians must answer at once. They cannot promise to make up the missing sound after lunch. Electricity works in much the same way. Generation and use must stay in balance every second. Transpower conducts that balance as New Zealand's system operator. The morning pattern is usually easy to recognize. People wake, warm their rooms, heat water, cook breakfast, and prepare for work or school. Demand climbs. It falls back through part of the day, then rises again when people return home, cook dinner, and turn on heating. The two rises make the daily demand line look a little like a camel's back. Winter makes both humps taller. Weather adds uncertainty. On a very cold day, a temperature difference of only 1 degree can cause a large change in demand. Wind generation may also be low when the air is cold and still. Solar contributes little during the dark morning peak. Geothermal generation normally runs steadily, so it has limited room to suddenly produce much more. That leaves hydro and thermal stations to do much of the fast responding. Here is where two different electricity problems are often mixed together. The first is an energy problem. Does the country have enough stored water, gas, coal, wind, sunlight, and other fuel to keep producing electricity across weeks or months? New Zealand relies heavily on hydro generation. When rain stays away and lake storage falls, water becomes precious. That is the dry year risk. The second is a capacity problem. Can enough machines run at once during one cold half hour, and can the grid carry their output to where it is needed? Full hydro lakes help with energy. They do not make turbines larger. A dam can hold plenty of water and still have a limit on how much electricity its generators can produce at one moment. A battery also has two separate limits. One describes how much energy it can store. The other describes how quickly it can release that energy. Think of a full bottle with a narrow opening. It contains enough water, but it cannot fill 10 glasses at once. That is why a short morning warning can appear even when New Zealand is not facing a long national shortage. The safety margin matters because a large power station or a transmission line could fail without warning. The system needs reserves ready to respond. If expected demand moves too close to available generation, the operator asks the industry for more offers or less use. New Zealand has learned how serious that moment can become. On the 9th of August 2021, record demand met insufficient generation during a cold evening. More than 34,000 customers lost power after controlled cuts were ordered to protect the wider system. Later reviews led to clearer notices and better information about the electricity that could be saved quickly. Some of that flexibility may already be sitting quietly in a cupboard at home. Many electric hot water cylinders are connected to ripple control. A line's company can briefly stop them heating during a peak, then turn them back on later. The stored water usually stays hot while the grid loses a piece of demand. A survey of demand flexibility identified about 160 megawatts from hot water control and ripple control. Large industrial users can provide more by reducing production under agreed arrangements. This changes the usual picture of electricity security. The answer is not always to build a power station that waits for the coldest hour of the year. Sometimes the cheaper answer is to move a flexible task by 1 or 2 hours. A dishwasher does not care whether it starts at 6 in the evening or later at night. An electric car may be able to wait before charging. A well-insulated water cylinder can store heat instead of demanding power at the busiest moment. Heating a cold home is different. People need warmth, and energy hardship is real. Demand flexibility should not mean asking families to sit in unsafe rooms. Its value comes from moving users that can move, so essential users do not have to. That distinction will grow more important as transport and industry switch from fossil fuels to electricity. Electrification can lower emissions, but it also raises the height of the morning and evening peaks unless charging and heating become smarter. More wind, solar, geothermal generation, transmission, and batteries will all help. So will better buildings, because a warm, efficient home needs less power to remain comfortable. But no single project removes the need to balance the next second. At 7:30 on that frozen morning, millions of small switches have formed one national event. The warning is not really about a country running out of electricity. It is about a narrow hour when almost everyone asks for it together.